Hello, everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Am I going live? Yes, I am. Hello, Sharyar. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I am 5 minutes late. But I have been trying to get in touch with the supremely special person that I hope to be chatting with right now. But उनके कुछ Wi-Fi issues हैं. And I was informed of those Wi-Fi issues 2 days ago. She said that her Wi-Fi is very unreliable because she's in a place जहाँ पे Wi-Fi की strength का नहीं पता होता. And so I am trying to connect with her right now. Let's hope that she's able to tune in. And until she does, let me tell you a bit about this amazing, brave woman that I am going to be chatting with today. So, the Me Too movement. I'm sure you're all aware of the Me Too movement, which was, well, it actually started in 2006, if I'm not wrong, but it grew in strength and it kind of was revived after a number of women started coming out with their stories. Rose was one of in fact, the first person probably who came out with her story about Harvey Weinstein and how she was sexually harassed and assaulted by him. This was in 2017. The incident happened in 1997, 20 years before she actually came out with her story. And for those 20 years, she, I'm sure, struggled with a lot of inner demons, went through her own journey, reached a point where she felt like she was ready to speak about it. And when she did, it totally changed her life, as did the incident itself. It's not easy. It's not easy, guys, to come out with a story like that, which involves someone who is so powerful and so can be so dangerous. Let me just check if Rose has come online. Oh God, I can see a lot of you. Yeah, I can see a lot of my friends who are waiting just as excitedly as I am. And so many of my friends have been sending me messages and questions that they'd like to ask Rose. And I'm hoping that I'm able to ask them right now. But, guys, pray, please, that I am able to we're able to get Rose. But we'll wait a few minutes because, you know, we know the time that we've decided and she knows her Wi-Fi was questionable and unreliable. लेकिन देखते हैं, अभी थोड़ी देर wait करते हैं, तब तक आप लोगों को सिर्फ मेरी बातें सुननी होंगी. So I have been struggling with my own story. I have been a victim of sexual harassment as well. This happened very early on in my career. I was only 23 years old. I had just moved to Karachi, just out of college, and I was sexually harassed by someone twice my age, very, very powerful. And it didn't stop. It wasn't a one-off incident. It happened multiple times. And I did not have the courage to talk about it to anybody. It was only 2 years ago that I finally, when another friend of mine decided to face her own story and come out with it, that is the only time when I finally got strength to talk about it. I do tell my friends know who it is, but publicly I haven't been able to reveal my story. And obviously that is because of the aftermath and everything that any victim has to deal with, who has to deal with the trauma of what he or she went through. And if that wasn't traumatic enough, the continuous trauma after the victim, the person, will come out with their experience, and how that battle that starts, which is just as excruciating as the one preceding it. क्योंकि मैंने खुद देखा है a few examples in front of me, people who have come out with their stories, and their names have been dragged in the ground, slandered. There's a lot of victim blaming. So obviously that scares most people from actually ever coming out with their stories. She's online! Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, the lady herself is online. Cannot wait to talk to this amazing force of nature. One of my Rose.
Hola! Wait, is it dark? Can you see me? Shit,
I
you can
cannot
see my
see you,
hair.
but
Why can't you see me?
it's
Ah,
dark. It's dark.
hold on. Okay.
I can see a plant.
1 second. I will find a light.
Yep.
Baby, can you turn your flashlight on? I need your phone. Uno segundo. Or no, just I need a, okay.
Yeah, we're waiting. Everybody's waiting.
1 second.
There you go.
I came to a place that has Wi-Fi because I'm in the jungle and there's no Wi-Fi. Hello, Ayesha.
Hello, Rose. Oh. You are beautiful. How are you?
As are you. I am really, really well. I am sorry, I look like a ghost.
No, you look beautiful.
I have to get Wi-Fi from my neighbor.
Who is this neighbor?
I
God.
moved to Mexico. That's a horrible light. I moved to, hold on, let me figure out the light. I moved to Mexico, and it's quite, the Wi-Fi is very bad.
No, it's great. This neighbor needs our blessings. Wow, what a neighbor. You look amazing. I can see you clearly. This is perfect.
Okay, great.
Okay, well, first of all, Rose, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, they just turned the music up. I'm so sorry.
No,
I know what to do. Wait. I know what to do. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find a quiet place because I'm stealing Wi-Fi.
I totally get it. But if you can hear me, we're good.
I can hear you.
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear. We're good.
Okay, perfect. Here we go.
Oh my God, you are in my favorite jungle, and I am sending you so much love for that jungle. But so all these people who knew that I was going to be chatting with you have tuned in, and they are so excited, as am I, to finally be talking to this brave force of nature that is Rose McGowan. Wow, Rose. How are you? How are you doing right now? How's the healing?
I'm doing really well. I came to Mexico to heal, you know. I mean, Weinstein was only put in jail 5 months ago.
But you
and so it's been 21, 22 years of a very fat monster's foot on my neck.
Oh,
and that monster represented the patriarchy. And that monster represents society and his accomplices and the people that helped, you know. I mean, he's sick in the head. My problem was with everybody that was supposedly normal that helped.
Yeah.
So I came here to heal, and I have to say, wait, you have to meet my dog Pearl. Hold on.
Yes.
Pearl, stay.
The partner in healing. Oh, hello. Hi, Rose.
She's a therapy dog, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I had really severe nightmares from post-traumatic stress, and whatever, you know, for years, and she's taken them away by 90%, I would say.
Oh my God, how is she
Just by
doing that?
existing. I don't understand how it works. I don't understand any of that. It's just magic.
Wow. Where did you get her from?
Cuba.
Wow, Rose.
I sent a
Wow.
friend from Canada to get her because Americans can't go to Cuba, really. It's too hard.
No. And even if you do
But
land up there, you'll be like, I don't know, ostracized for being there for the rest of your life.
I might be stuck there forever.
Yeah.
But that's
Okay,
why I
but
had to get out of America. I knew, weirdly enough, I knew 10 months ago, I had this really strong feeling. I said, the world is going to close its borders to America. The
wow.
world's, and I have to get my money out of the stock market because it's going to crash. I had those two feelings very strongly. So I took my money out of the stock market, and my advisors were like, don't do this, don't do this. And I was like, something's coming. I don't know what it is. Something's happening.
Wow.
But I knew pretty much somehow the whole time Trump was president that there would be close the borders at some point. I didn't see coronavirus.
But they're dying to have people in right now, by the way. Open borders again. Yeah.
Wait, in America?
Yeah, yeah. A couple of my friends are like, oh, it's so easy. It's the easiest place to go right now, by the way.
They make it in America. The news is totally different. The news is so America. The news, I think, is number 57 on the free press list. Norway is number 1. I'm not sure where Pakistan is.
I don't know where Pakistan is, by the way. I do know that we are number 5 in population all over the world.
Strong.
Strong, yeah, recreating.
I have wanted to go to Karachi, and I've only been to Afghanistan in the middle, in Kuwait, and I was so close.
Well, it's going to happen now. It's going to happen. You have a home. You have a home. My home, where I am right now. And so many friends of mine, bros, so many fans. When I told people that I'm going to be talking to Rose, they couldn't believe it. And questions have been pouring in, and love has been pouring in. There is a person I want to mention, Safi, this friend of mine, who was like, can you please tell her that she is my biggest source of inspiration? And that I've been watching her since Charmed. And he's like, man, there's no woman like her. And I'm like, okay, wow, I will tell her. And I'm doing this, Safi, if you're watching. So there is so much
to her. You know, the thing is, I want women to know that they've been sold a lie, that it was always a man that was going to rescue them. But I've never seen a man on a horse outside of a woman's room. I've only seen women on their own damn horse.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I would know.
And there's a lot to fight about, you know, but I think one of the things that I like to do is, as I talk to men too a lot, men get hurt and they don't have the emotional capacity to deal with what's happened to them. Women barely do.
Women barely do.
And men, not the predators, not the super predators. That's a different kind of mind.
No,
the casual date rapist, let's say, right? That one, I talk to them, you know, and I'm really about trying to get women and men to see themselves purely as human and not gender.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they try to go in. They're like, what are the new labels? What can we do? What can we say? And I always kind of think, like, what if we went backwards?
Yeah.
What if, and I've done this with a man and a woman talking to both recently, and I said, you're human. You're human. Stop and think about your humanity for a second. And now look at each other again, and how do you feel? Is it different? And they both said yes. The energy changed like that.
I've been watching a lot of your recent interviews, by the way, and I know you spoke about this with an interview with Ronan Farrow, if I'm not mistaken, recently. And it was beautiful. Me and my mother were watching it together, and she was mesmerized. She was like, I just want to listen to this woman talk because you articulate your feelings and your thoughts and your emotions so well. I don't know if that comes naturally to you or if it's happened over the years because you finally found a voice to
I had a voice, just nobody was listening.
no, like you finally
Right.
stopped giving a shit. You
Oh, I
stopped
stopped
giving a
giving all
shit.
the fuck.
Yeah. So
No
you
fucks left.
stopped, yeah, you stopped caring about what people thought of your words.
Well, that's yes and no.
Mhm.
I privately have been the same for years and years and years, and all of my friends are like the same, but it wasn't time yet. I needed
Yeah,
Trump.
yeah.
It
Oh,
was
you
not
needed.
time. I was waiting for society to be ready. I was waiting. I was like, they're not smart enough yet. They're not smart enough yet. And finally, I was like, okay, we have to go faster. Let's go. And no, I needed Trump because honestly, because Hillary protected Weinstein, Hilary Clinton, very hard in a major way, and Bill. But I needed Trump more than that. I needed Trump to show people this is racism. This is sexism. This is what this ugliness really looks
And
like.
he did. He did it
And
himself.
in a very black and white way that the people that thought everything was great because Obama was president could understand.
Ooh.
And so I needed
Yeah.
him. And after about like 4 months, I'm like, it was like about 3 years before that I started pushing at Hollywood. I started messing with them, and they were like, nobody ever messes with us ever. Like they don't
Yeah.
get out alive when they do. Trust me. And so it was like people think my activism started with Weinstein, like coming out
No.
against
Yeah.
years before that.
Yeah. But so you've answered one of the questions that really was sort of playing in my head. That what is the one thing that finally triggered you to come out with your story, and you've just answered that. But we were talking about friends, and that is something that I would really like to talk about. When you came out with your story, everything changed. Friends who you thought were friends probably didn't remain friends anymore. You made probably new friends. Did you have a set of solid friends supporting you and saying, woman, we got your back? No.
No, I was alone.
Have you made new friends since then?
Yes.
Wow.
Since being able to be myself, because, and it's very specifically in America, people very much confuse you with the character, and they can't seem to separate. And so I've been saying the same stuff for years. Like I would sit at a dinner party 20 years ago, and someone would talk to me about Harvey Weinstein. I'm like, oh, you know he's a rapist. And they're like, well, how do you know? I'm like, oh, he raped me. Because I was very casual about it, because it was never my shame. And I just thought, maybe someday I'll meet the person that's going to make a difference and help me. And finally I was like, no, it's going to be me.
Wow. Shame.
So I didn't have friends. And I would say through pretty much the entire battles, like the really hardcore ones that the public saw,
Yeah.
just me.
I'm
Women's groups
interested.
helped me, nothing.
Yeah, I'm interested in that internal battle because, Rose, that is something that women battle with every single day. In Pakistan, in my society, the biggest feeling, there are two feelings that take priority over others. One is fear, the other is shame. So you talk about
Fear and what?
shame, shame,
Yes.
shame. You talk about anger a lot. We're not allowed to be angry. We're not
Yes, you
allowed
are.
to. I know. I mean, yes, in essence we are, but we're not in this
I
society
know,
allowed.
because girls, especially girls, you're trained to be polite. That is you're trained to be polite at all costs. Shove your shame down. It's your problem. You did this. You wanted it. You showed your ankles.
Yeah.
You turned them on.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. And the reality of it is, no, it's a sick
No.
society. And
It
I'm
really.
not talking about Pakistan. I'm talking about the world.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This is not
It's
region
not just
specific.
Pakistan. And it is,
It's
and people think like Americans yell at me a lot, and they're like, "Go to Iran if you want to help them so much." I'm like, idiots. And I'm like, if you think American women, there was a vote in America during Obama, should we pay women equally? And the vote was no. And I was like, I thought it was, America's like a third world country for women. It's not what people think. It's not the image they portray.
No, yeah, that's what we're finding
In
out.
Pakistan, it is bred. Women all over the world are bred to be only polite, and that's their defense. And they get sent out into the world with their hands tied behind their back.
Yeah, that's why women like
now
me.
Protect yourself from a monster that you don't know is coming, because nobody's told you what to look for. No. And because society has gaslighted you, tricked you into thinking that you did something.
You asked for it.
And if someone stole my purse and I went to the police, nobody would say, "What was your purse wearing?"
Oh.
But rape is theft. It's a high level form of stealing. And sexual harassment, sexual abuse, which is all power. It's all power. It's all power. But the shame is not ours. That's why I kind of scare people, because I'm like, I didn't do it. Why should I be ashamed? I did not do this. He did it. Yeah. These people did this. I was there. I know what happened. I know what went down. I do consider myself lucky in a messed up, and this is messed up, because I was not on a date. I didn't have a drink with him. It was 10 in the morning. It was a business meeting. And I feel for the women where it's like date rape, and they have a lot to unpack. It's a lot of stuff.
They have a lot to deal with. They're constantly questioning the situation. Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah.
And there's moments, where I like this person, but not enough to sleep with them, or this or that. And you think, well, I liked him a little bit. Maybe it's so much in your mind. But I will say this. If you left the room with that feeling, if you went home and scrubbed at your skin, it's not you.
Not you.
Because that is not a normal feeling to leave someone with.
Tell me, Rose, have you always felt this way about this feeling? Or is it something that you worked on in the recent years? Or did it come to you years ago when things started happening? Or is it something that you've processed and finally come to terms with in your head recently?
Well, it's a continual process. I have different thoughts about and realizations about stereotypes and how society works. I think a lot of things through. But I've always been like this. When I was homeless, when I was 13, there was a pregnant woman wearing a trash bag on a street in America, and she was a black woman. And I went, and she was crying, and I had been living under a park bench, sleeping there.
Wow.
And I had sold cans that day to get $5 American, and I gave it to her. And right then, this man comes up in a Porsche, and he pulls me away from her, a white man. And he pulls me away, and he's like, "You shouldn't be doing that." And I said, "No, you are the person that shouldn't be talking to me or her. You can't touch us. Get away. You are wrong. Your value system is wrong. Get away from us." And he wanted me to go in the car with him, of course, and try to get, I was like, no way. But it was also just, I've had a thing with injustice my whole life. It's my number one. It kind of makes me a little bit crazy. Injustice that I see all over, injustice in the world. And the thing is like, even injustice towards Mother Earth, I think about, I'm like, if it had been called Father Earth, would it have been raped as much?
Oh, wow. What an observation, Rose. Wow.
So I think about a lot of, I don't know, maybe I think differently because I was raised in a very unique way that most
Yeah,
people, how
that's
they
what I
were
was
not.
getting at. That's what I was getting at. Where did all these ideas and this strength and this fierceness, does it come from your parents? Does it come from the fact that you, in your early years, I was watching another interview of yours, and you were assaulted when you were 4 years old. Four.
I'm so what?
You were assaulted for the first time when you were 4 years old. Four. Four.
No.
You
Oh,
said
physically, yes. Physically, not
physically.
yes.
Yeah, physically. Some interview of yours where you were talking about an experience when you were 4 years old in a hallway. But so I'm trying to ask you, does it come from
No one. My
all your?
sister. So I did a documentary that you can see on Amazon. It's called Citizen Rose.
Yes.
And it's a tough, sometimes it's hard watching, but the first episode I edited, I worked on it myself. It's really beautiful. And my sister is in it. And at one point in the series, I'm being taken away to be arrested. So I had handcuffs on me before Harvey Weinstein because of Harvey Weinstein, of what he orchestrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't, on camera, and I only saw it when I watched the show, the producer asked my sister, where does she get that from? And it cuts away to me walking like with my fist up in the air. And my sister just goes, I don't know. And I would say, I'm like, I was born, I don't know. I honestly,
You were
feel
born
like
to
I
do this.
accepted some weird mission and I didn't get to live most of my life for myself, and this is just how it is, and it's how it's always been, and it's just, this is this life, and that's okay. It's a different life than most, definitely, I think. I mean, everyone's got a story. Everyone has a story.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean just about sexual assault. You sit next to someone.
No. Oh.
But I met a unicorn last night, Ayesha. I met a woman that had not ever been sexually assaulted or harassed.
Or molested, or like verbally.
Yes. I thought
Wow.
that, I was like,
wow. How old was she?
41. And pretty.
What? Like what?
Not that you have to be pretty, but she's.
I mean, that plays a part.
So it's either a delusion or she's the unicorn.
I mean, I do know certain people.
I
in
hope
Pakistan.
so.
There's some
know
women
a couple.
in Pakistan.
I know when people interview me and they look at me with this kind of like that they haven't been. You know, the women or men, when they look at me like I'm kind of a frog that they're going to cut up in science class. I'm sure you've had that.
Oh, I have. Oh, I totally have. I'm considered crazy as well, lots of times, multiple times. Crazy is a word that you just used. How women are. It's a word.
I'm like, get a thesaurus, find another word, like something.
I'm actually okay with crazy. I'm okay with crazy, Rose. I'm okay with it. I'm okay now.
Well, if the alternative is being you, I'll take crazy. Thank you.
I'll take crazy any day.
Yeah.
Okay. So there was one more thing that I really, really wanted to discuss with you, and that is so the Me Too campaign on social media was, of course, I mean, a lot of women all over the world feel that, yes, there's support from other women and women are finally standing up for other women. Do you feel that currently right now, after all that's been happening on social media all over the world? Do you feel supported at this point in time? Finally, do you?
I do. I get asked a lot. I personally do, and I hope others are too. I really do.
Do you think women are finally?
I don't know how.
But women can be each other's worst enemies, and they can all.
Have you gone to a business event and you see all the men standing together, and then there's women kind of separated, and the men are all like, yeah, I'll get you that number. I'll introduce you to that CEO. Oh, this job will be perfect for you. And the women are like staring at this. And I'm
Oh,
like, shit, come
the women
on.
are.
This
Yes.
is not, you got to be like the bros over there. You have to be like, yeah, I'll introduce you to the CEO. Yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, I'll do that. Women don't know how. And it's because
Well,
there's only been one space at the top.
yeah, but no, it's also the construct of society and how women are made
Oh,
to.
just get them
to
against each other. And that's the thing.
yes.
If they can start seeing themselves as valuable humans instead of women that are trying to be equal to something that I don't think they should try to be equal to, because I think they're superior.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I
Hell yeah.
never understood that. Like, do you want equality? I'm like, no, I want supremacy.
You have it. You have it. But Rose, so but do you think that women are feeling supported? They are starting to
A lot
stand
better.
up
I
for
think
each
it's
other.
gotten better.
It's
I
gotten
do.
better.
You know what?
Yeah.
Like, I think women are starting. What Me Too did, you know, the media called it a movement. My thing was trying to force a culture reset. I was like,
Yeah.
let's explode
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
It's like when you clean your closet, you make a huge mess, and then it gets clean. But first, you make a big mess. And that was the explosion part. And it was hard because I know it was really hard. It was not just hard on me, it triggered people all over the world, you
Oh,
know? And
oh man.
Me Too, what Tarana Burke did with that, it's a communication tool.
Yeah.
You can sit at a dinner and sit next to someone, and all of a sudden something comes up, and you can say, did this happen to you? And the person can say, me too.
Yeah.
I know your pain.
Bingo. And
There's
that's what
no
happened to
way to
me.
talk about
That's actually Rose, that what happened to me the first time I spoke about my experience, and I was 23. Very powerful man, twice my age,
that.
huge in the media. I had just entered the industry. I was this young 23-year-old, fresh out of college, and bam, this started happening. And it went on for years. It wasn't a one-off incident. It
Well,
went on for
oh, yeah.
years. And Rose and I just didn't want to process it. I put it in a box, and I said, all right, okay, this is happening to me, and it's a part of my life, and I have to deal with it, and I don't need to share it with anybody. And I just let it stay there for, I think, 15 years. 15 years. And I finally spoke to somebody about it 2 years ago, after the whole Me Too movement had started, and a friend of mine came out with her story. So it's very interesting. A friend of mine who's also in the media came out with his story, and because I was working very closely with her, immediately TV channels started calling me up and saying, "Oh my God, do you believe her?" And I'm like,
Do you believe her?
"Do you believe her? Do you think she's telling the truth?" And I'm like,
So
I
insane.
I would believe any victim. They're like, okay, does sexual harassment happen in the industry? Do you think it exists?
And the
I,
person asking you that, you're like, come on.
no, and I'm like, and that's the first time, Rose, I said yes. Has it ever happened to you? I was like, oh yes. And they're like, oh my God, do you want to talk about it? And I was like, no, this is it for today. I will talk about it someday. I still haven't named my monster, but I've started talking about it.
There's no timeline. There's still people I haven't named. There's still men that I have not named that affected me. And it's on your own timeline or never. There's no rules. There are no
Yeah,
rules for
there are no
this.
rules.
What you did was brave, and you pulled down a curtain, Ayesha.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
pull down
but
the curtain, and that's what we do. We pull down the curtain, and we cause an explosion. But the more truth is out there, and the more women and men that have been hurt realize this is not their shame
yeah,
at all, give it back. You can go lay it on their doorstep. You can be free. You can be an incredible 2.0 version of yourself. It's not fair that you have to be. It's not fair that part of you was stolen. Like, I often think, like, oh my God, wouldn't it be the most amazing thing? And I know there are many that think this, many races, many genders. If people would just leave us alone, what we could achieve. If men would
Oh,
stop harassing us, what I
yeah, or
could
just let
do
us
if I
be.
didn't have to deal with male ego at the top of a system to negotiate with all this stuff. But there is a difference
Yeah,
happening.
there
I
is.
know somebody's a big music producer, and he said he sat down with his male friends not long ago, and they all talked about times they pushed it too far, times they'd done something wrong, how they can be better, what they need to do.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it is permeating. It is getting there.
it is. I
My
see it.
goal was 10%. I wanted to make the world 10% more free.
Where do you think it's at right now? What
Random
percent?
number.
Okay, before we
I'd
before we go
say
on, sorry, go on, go on, go on, go on.
I would say there's 10%. I would say there's a 10% shift in the world, and that's a huge number because most people were like everybody was like, me too, hit them like a ton of bricks out of the blue, but I had been setting it up for years. The fall,
Yeah.
you can't be David versus Goliath and not have years of pre-planning for this.
How much
And
time have you got,
took up
Rose?
a lot of my life.
How much time do you have
What?
until your name? How much time do you
Probably
have
like
until?
2 more minutes. 2 more minutes.
Oh no,
They're turning
no.
off the lights and the Wi-Fi.
Oh no, Rose. We love you. I
But we can
love
do this
you.
again when I have light.
Yes, yes. We're gonna do this again. There's so much more to talk about. I love
Let's
you.
do it again next week.
Yes, yes, yes.
And maybe we can do it on my channel, and I can ask you about Pakistan and the women
Oh,
there and the women and what's going on there. Like, I
yes,
want to know on like, I'm talking to you about my stuff and my side of the world. I want to know about yours.
yes, yes.
I
Let's
know
do
mine.
it.
I want to know yours.
We'll do it. 100%. I
Date?
love you. Happy healing, and until next week.
Love to you all.
Love you. Love you. Mwah. Enjoy. Wow, guys. Wow. This just finished too quickly. There's so much more. There's so much more that I want to talk to Rose about. But as she's promised, we are going to be talking next week. And wow, this was amazing. This was like therapy. It really was. And I'm going to open up comments so that you guys can start messaging and telling me how you felt about this conversation. And I know कि बहुत सारे strange comments भी आएंगे, लेकिन that's okay. I'm totally cool with that. अब भाई हमें strange और बुरे comments या nasty comments या negativity से बिल्कुल ना डर लगता है और ना हमें ज़्यादा ट्रॉमा होता है उससे, क्योंकि भाई और बड़े ट्रॉमाज हैं और लोगों के कमेंट्स की वजह से हम अफेक्ट इतना नहीं होते अब. इनफैक्ट बड़ा मजा आता है लोगों से बात करने में. There are so many things that I wanted to talk to Rose about, and I didn't ask her even one of the questions that I had planned in my head, serious, intense, deep questions. But this felt like I was just talking to a woman, another woman, a colleague, a friend, just someone who inspires me a lot these days. And I would love to take some questions, guys. I would love to take questions. A lot of people tuned in. And wow, I'm a little emotional right now. But I just hope that next week this conversation is going to go more places. And I'm super excited. And I am very, very thankful to this neighbor of Rose's whose Wi-Fi she was borrowing. And I'm sending out really positive, beautiful vibes to this person. Kyunki Rose ka Wi-Fi bahut bura tha. She told me, she warned me. She's like, Ayesha, I'm not sure. I was like, we're just going to, you know, let go. We're just gonna send out positive energies to the universe and see if it works. And it did. And thank you, all of you, for tuning in. This was a really special conversation. And I know that Misha Shafi was also listening. Misha, I love you. And I am sending you so much love and so much positivity. You know that. You know I always do. I don't even need to say it. So hey, and all of you, all you others, Zara Tareen, Sara Tair Khan, and so many of my friends who tuned in, Anushe. I love you guys, and I do hope that one day I can talk about my story. God, it really scares me. But it's actually my mother who said, Beta, I don't want you to talk about it publicly. I don't want you to name the person publicly, because what comes after is something that I'm not ready to deal with. And so I am protecting my mother more than myself. But I know it is my story to tell. And eventually I will one day, inshallah, with my mother's blessings. And I think it's getting there. I think it really is. My mother is in town. She's in Karachi. और बड़ा मजा आ रहा है उनके साथ hang करने का वो बाहर wait कर रही है मेरा. And she was so excited about this. You know, yesterday we were watching interviews of Rose's, and she was like, you know, oh, what a woman. And she didn't really know much about Rose, but of course she knew the basics. But we watched all these interviews. I was like, okay, Mama, I want you to hear her speak. And she was like, wow, you know. And she was like, Ayesha, please learn a thing or two about speaking. And I was like, yeah. So guys, thank you so much. There's Zara, you're saying, Ayesha, this is awesome. And I appreciate that you're going directly to the source, and there's a lot to be learned, and maybe realign over here. Yes, Zara, I don't know how this happened. This is unreal. I mean, it's unimaginable. I don't even know how it happened. Rose, I started following Rose a year ago, and I was posting stuff, and I tagged her in a few things. And she replied, and she started following me as well. And then this thought came to me in lockdown. I was like, Rose, would you be open to, you know, going live? And one day she replied, and she said, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay, let's do this. But क्या बोलें और क्या कहें? क्योंकि इतना कुछ है पूछने के लिए, बोलने के लिए, बताने के लिए. So I think we're going to make this a weekly thing, guys. Yeah, you're going to tune in next week, all of you. And right now, I am going to talk to one of you, क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग हैं who are trying to talk. And I would love to talk to one of you right now. Okay. Vania Noor, Shifa, Sadaf Salman. Sadaf, I'm coming to you. Sadaf is unable to join. Zara, are you online? Are you online, Zara? Do you want to talk? Because I am going live with you, but I need to ask you if you're okay with that. Waiting for Zara. Waiting. I hope I'm able to connect. Let's see. आज तो मेरा भी Wi-Fi बहुत बुरा था, and I'm connected to my phone internet. And thank God nobody called in the middle. I was like, oh God, if somebody calls, my session's over. But nobody did. Thank God. अच्छा भाई, Zara से तो connection नहीं हो रही. I'll wait 2 more minutes. But one of the things I really wanted to ask Rose, and I'm going to save all those questions for later. And guys, anything you would like me to ask her, please tell me. क्योंकि अब तो भाई मुझे लग रहा है कि हम तो इंशाल्लाह बहुत regular discussions करेंगे. लेकिन I really wanted to ask her, which Hollywood director would she be open to working with now that, you know, everything's in front of her and she knows where everybody stands in her head. तो वो कौन से directors हैं या director है who she resonates with? Zara, I'm trying to connect with you. It's not happening. But I'm going to try again. I'm trying again. I think maybe your Wi-Fi is not allowed connecting. Zara!
Hi, I just woke up.
I'm sorry.
I woke
for
up to tune into your session actually.
Thank you.
So
Oh my God, how was it? Tell me, honest feedback.
It was awesome, and I think you definitely have to have the other session with her because it was more like an introductory kind of getting your thoughts together. And I know there's so much to ask.
Yeah, man, there's so much to ask. And
I think it's a good idea that she takes you on her channel next week because you know her story we all know, not that it's not important, but I think it's very necessary for her to be asking you questions.
It's also it's very important for people to all over the world to understand what's going on in Pakistan. I mean,
yes,
you know, Zara, you and I, we both know the constant battles that we're fighting every single day. But one of the things that is positive about our system, ये जो equal pay की बात है, हमें फिर भी बेहतर pay मिलती है. हमें फिर भी बेहतर pay मिलती है. You know,
but it always depends. You know, कोई standard नहीं है किसी चीज का.
I'm saying it's not unheard of. It's not.
Yes.
You know? It's not okay. Oh, all the women, the men in the industry are getting paid more than the women. There are instances when women are also getting paid substantially equal, maybe more in some cases.
But वो आयशा वो यहाँ पे ये समझना जरूरी है इस point पे कि yes you're right. लेकिन वो इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि उसमें किसी ने कोई equality या किसी चीज का सोचा है. That is all, you know, marketability wise, and it's still not a standard. It's because if you're getting paid more, it's because you're more marketable, most likely, not because someone is trying to make sure you're equal.
Okay, but at least there's an acknowledgement of you being more marketable, Zara.
Yeah, because it's a small industry. This is why I think it's important what you're doing. If we nip it in the bud right now.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just going with the flow, man.
No. This is big.
But you're
I'm so proud of you, Ayesha.
Sarah. You know, I read everybody's stuff, and it really helps me to steer my thought process. You know, I may not always comment. I may not always be a part of the discussions, but मैं पढ़ रही हूँ. You know, और मुझे.
I know. हम सब पढ़े होते हैं. हम सब कर रहे. You know, हम अपनी अगर एक छोटा सा बैटल उठा के like you know अपनी तरफ से आराम से करते जाएं, like you know, like she said, it took her so long. We have to sometimes it's, you know, like your battle, like you said that it's been so long that you still haven't named.
It's not even about that, Zara. There's so much unresolved stuff that we don't even know what it is. There's so many feelings, and you're like, okay, there's this feeling and there's this feeling, and where is this feeling coming from? You know?
I think I totally understand because, you know, it's very important because the thing is, the naming and the shaming is also, again, in a way, giving power to the other person and turning the conversation and that
giving
decision
them importance all over again, making them a reality in your life all over again. For me.
All over again. And so this time, I you know, हमेशा हर कोई बोलता है कि पहले क्यों नहीं बोला? Because, you know, the thing is that it takes this long for you to make sure that you have understood about yourself, that this is going to be about you and what happened to you. And until and unless you come to terms with that, how can you throw yourself into another fire
No,
and then go back years on it and feel like मुझे बोलना ही नहीं चाहिए था.
उफ यार, ये
तो
तो
इसके
bring up
बहुत सारे
regrets
एंगल्स हैं.
बहुत
इसके
सारे.
बहुत सारे एंगल्स हैं और this is why I'm very sensitive and I get really angry every when I feel like something was mishandled and it just set us back instead of
Yeah.
pushing us forward. So I think it's very important that you're taking your time, and
Yeah,
I
but
think
you
you
know what,
should do
Zara?
it.
What's interesting is, Zara, I don't have any. Actually, I may be wrong. I was gonna say that I don't have resentment and anger. Um, I'm working on it. It's getting better. है obviously पीछे तो बहुत सारी है.
Obviously, hoga. I think what you're trying to do, okay, when you talk about it, you are focused more on achieving something instead of, being angry about it.
Yeah, and I'm
Wo-
just like, okay, there is so much hate and negativity that we see on social media around us. We know we deal with it every single day, especially us women in the industry. सबसे
Yeah,
ज़्यादा hate और trolling और negativity तो हमें नजर आ रही होती है.
better.
बैठे बैठे कुछ किए बगैर अपने कमरे में अपने सोफे पे सारा hate और negativity आपको नजर आ रही है.
Yes, but it's
Um,
for breakfast.
it's for breakfast. Or your late night snack or anything
Yeah,
you want
yeah,
it to be. In fact, late night snacks for sure. We go to
yes.
sleep with all that. भाई
Checking, yeah.
वो सारे nightmares तो शायद वहीं से आ रहे होते हैं.
वहीं से आ रहे होते.
But I started feeling empathy towards it also, Zara, क्योंकि भाई देखो कितनी frustration और कितनी महरूमी है हमारे मुल्क में, इतना suppression, and I'm not just talking about women, I'm talking about
No.
I mean,
Aisha, in fact, I've started to feel our men are more suppressed.
oh my god, men though, they can't even express their emotions, like they don't know.
तभी
So something really hit me the other day. I was with a bunch of friends and I was feeling really emotional and going through something, and we were all at the beach and I was crying. And two of my friends were standing afar, boys, watching. And one of them said to the other, because I was told this story later, he said, yaar, औरतें बड़ी lucky होती हैं यार, So he's like, why? He's like, because, at least they can cry. They can cry and let it all out whenever they want. We can't do that. We can't even sit and cry if we feel like crying. And he was like, यार ये हमारी basic सोचें हैं कभी कभार कि हम तो रो भी नहीं सकते यार. So I'm like,
और ये बहुत बड़ा मसला है. This is like a दीमक, अगर एक दिन आपके कोई बिल्कुल एक आपके आंसू ही कोई खींच ले, what will happen? Or they're raised this way. So no wonder there's frustration, no wonder there's anger. When they don't know what to say, गालियां निकल आती हैं.
वही तो, क्योंकि एक्सप्रेस नहीं करना आता कोई और चीज. एंड प्यार तो एक्सप्रेस करने की मतलब हमें वो मिली नहीं है तरबियत ज्यादातर.
इजाजत ही नहीं है वो तो. हाँ.
इजाजत भी नहीं है, but also we haven't seen it growing up,
We haven't seen, yeah.
A lot of people don't even get love, like expressed love from their parents. So उनको तो बचपन से आदत ही नहीं है प्यार देखने की कि भाई कोई प्यार भी एक्सप्रेस हो रहा है. So any kind of expression is criticism or resentment or hate. So that's the only language that we've learned.
There's so much to unpack.
But Zara, I'm very lucky. I consider myself so blessed. But I cliched term hai, I feel so blessed. But I do feel blessed. I feel so blessed कि मेरे इर्द गिर्द इतने solid लोग हैं यार, इतनी अच्छी मेरी दोस्तें हैं, boys भी और girls भी. इतना support हमें एक जो हमारा एक अपना scene है उससे मिलता है अब. I don't feel alone. No, not anymore.
Yeah, Aisha, सबसे बड़ी support यही होती है that your friends and your circle, be it your family or your friends. अगर सिर्फ हर कोई एक ही चीज कर ले कि just understand the other person who they are and just love them for that. like Aisha ki personality is a certain way, and all her friends love that. There's
Yeah,
not one person
and
who
all
would,
my issues or my fears or my anxieties, we all have our
yes,
own anxieties. So accept that. Accept the dark and the light, both. You can't just want the light, you know?
yes.
You
Yes, I
need
always say, people always say good friends are your friends, are the ones that are your friends in good and bad times. But most of the time, the emphasis is on, जब आपका बुरा वक्त चल रहा हो, जो आपके साथ लोग
बिल्कुल
हैं,
बिल्कुल
वो ही आपके अच्छे दोस्त हैं. कभी कभी तो जब आपका अच्छा वक्त भी चल रहा हो, जो आपके साथ हैं, वो एक्चुअली आपके दोस्त हैं, because that's where, दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी हो जाता है.
अच्छा नहीं
So
बुरा, you mean
just
बुरा.
Bura and acha. Lots of times when you see that finally when you are doing something you're passionate about, people start dropping off
Yeah, because they can't
and
take
you're
it.
doing.
Yeah,
और वो simply jealousy नहीं होती जो हम इतनी आसानी से बोल देते हैं, वो jealousy नहीं होती. Those are deeper issues happening in those people,
that's deep
you know,
hate also. Yeah, I agree with you.
that you are able
But
to be yourself.
but
So this is
Zara, I
all
really
just been fed in.
I've seen with a couple of people how their friends changed after a certain point in their life, and लोग कहते हैं कि आपके पुराने ही दोस्त आपके solid दोस्त होते हैं. और मेरी example में I would say that
हाँ.
my childhood friends who I hope have tuned in today probably and have heard this session, they were so excited, all of them. I'm very blessed with a solid group of childhood friends. 6 का group है हमारा, माशाल्लाह. मेरी बहनें हैं वो. I wouldn't say friends, sorry, they're my sisters. But I've seen how people have seen कि भाई जो actual आपको लगता है आपके दोस्त हैं, वो filter out होते जाते हैं, because when you really need them, they're not there to have your back at all. And then
Yeah,
you make new friends. And
you do.
in the past 2-3 years, Zara, I have made some fantastic new friends, met some fantastic new people who I'm probably closer to than I was with people 15 saal se.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
old ones, some of them, I'm not talking about my sisters, but some of
Yeah.
the friends, they're like, when did you get close to this person? Or
Yes.
when did this person
होता है.
become so important in your life? I was like,
Yes.
when this person resonated with my
Yes.
feelings, and when
I
this
think as we
person,
get older, also, Aisha, different, आपकी जो different stages of life होती हैं, you always think, oh my God, because when I was moving to Pakistan, I was like, how am I going to make friends again like that? Because वो तो मेरे childhood friends थे. I've spent so many years with these people, but we know a lot of the same people. I've made some beautiful friends here. And as you get older, your priorities also change and what you're looking for people and the kind,
yeah,
the value you want in your
yeah,
life. And you
100%.
also start minimizing,
Yeah.
you
There are
know?
certain people who I've known really well over the years, and I don't want them around me anymore. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
भाई
होता है.
मुझे नहीं, तो मैं उनके मुंह पे, obviously I don't want to hurt somebody. I'm not going to say it to their face,
Exactly. Better
but
to
I
stay away.
distance myself from them. Aram se.
हाँ,
Goodbye.
हाँ, हाँ. क्योंकि, people like us, we can't, at least I cannot, मेरी शक्ल और मेरी आंखों पे मेरी feelings आ जाती हैं. तो वो मुझसे pretend नहीं होता कि,
अच्छा
okay, we're,
मुझसे होता है. अच्छा मैं कर लेती मैं कर लेती थी pretend कभी
मुझे भी
कभार.
सिखाओ, मुझे भी सिखाओ, मुझे भी सिखाओ.
लेकिन नहीं, मुझे अब नहीं करना. मुझे नहीं
अगर
करना.
हो भी जाता है ना तो करना नहीं है.
हाँ बस हो गई. मुझे रेयर
हाँ,
चीजें
बस हो
करनी
गई
है.
भाई.
सुनो मेरी जान, go and have your breakfast. I love you.
Yes, I will.
And I have to go and sit with my
Yes,
mother
yes,
now.
yes. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for doing this. I love you. You're so brave, and I can't wait till next week.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Love
Bye.
you.
Love you.
Bye.